Hello and welcome. I'm pretty excited about this project because in this video we've actually designed a complete job portal using React.js, Tailwind CSS, MongoDB, Node.js and Express.js. And after these projects you will able to make this clean website. Look, this website is very clean. So let me explore the features of these websites. Here we have a classic navbar, and then you can see this is my logo. Here is a button for logout, and then if you search here with JV lover, then you can see only one job is available here. If you search software, then you can see software related to jobs are here. If you want UI UX job, then you can see the jobs is here. So here was some pagination are there. It says one job is this. Then if you just refresh it again, here this is the location based filtering. You can just check how many jobs are inside London. So you can see only two jobs are available in London. If you hit Seattle, then you can see one jobs. If you hit Madrid, then this is no job. So here you can see when no job, look how it's working. We have no pagination right there. But if you hit this on, you can see at the bottom we have paginations. So this pagination system also dynamic, and that's the power what we're going to build right now. Okay, let me just make sure it's well, and then we want to filter based on yearly, monthly and hourly. By default, if you hit hourly, nothing happens because all jobs are hourly rated. And then if you hit monthly, you can see these are the three jobs that are monthly basis, and then hit yearly, then we have four jobs for the yearly. Okay, then here you can filter jobs based on, so let me refresh it again. And if you want to filter based on salary range, if you want to check is there any job under 30k, hit here. You can see the job is 10 to 20k. So this is the one job. If you hit the second one, then you can see all jobs are under 50k. Then if you hit this one, look, we have five jobs right now. And if you hit here, then you can see no jobs. Now at this time, we can filter based on the last 24 hours, 7 days and monthly basis. So if you hit all time, then nothing changes because the jobs are all time. But then if you hit 24 hours, then you can see we only get one jobs, and the jobs is posted last day actually. Then if you hit 7 days, then you can see four job are available in last 7 days. If you hit last month, then you can see six job are posted. Okay, you can also filter based on job experience. So any experience, hit this is internship, we have three jobs data. And then if you hit this on, can also filtering based on this way. Okay, that's good. And now right now if you click any of this, for example this one, you can check the job details. Here is the job ID, then this is the job details. This text are hard coded, but you can change it. So what if you are agree to apply to this job, you can just hit here, then you can just upload your CV URL. So if you upload this, look, it will says a link. I just use a link here. You will paste your CV link, and if it's okay, then you can hit this okay, then you will get a success notifications here. Okay, then if you hit, then this job is applied. Okay, so next you can just check your job sections. You can post any jobs by clicking this. You can fill this form and post a job. But let me show, if you just from starting, if you just log out and try to go to access the my job sections, it says you must have to log in. Without login, you cannot go to your job page, or you cannot post your job actually. So if you just sign up, using your Gmail accounts. So let me try to sign up. Now we can see the jobs. You can also filter based on your jobs data. So that's would be. Then if you want to update these on, for example, you can just hit here. You can just make sure these on. Some other skill, you can change the employment type, part-time. You can name the job. You can change anything. For example, let me define 60, 55 something, and if you hit OK, then job updated successfully. And then if you back to your job page, you can see now this is on and this is the price range. Okay, you can delete this job by clicking this. So this job is successfully deleted. Okay, now refresh it. Now you can see we have two jobs available. Then there is a salary estimated. So this is the estimated salary job. Here on this page you can check the salary of the job posted. You can just type it here and just refresh it. There is a one job. You can define developer, then search it. The job is not there. You can just check backend developer. Okay, one job is available. Then you can post a job. Let me show you. For example, I want to post a job of graphic design. Then let me define a company, linear company. Let me define a range, salary range here, 30k to 60 56k. We will define it monthly basis, and job location would be San Francisco. We'll define the job posting date. You will hit here, will get a awesome job filtering. You can use today's date. Clicking here, you can choose no experience or internship. Here you can select something from here. If you want something to create new skills, for example graphic design, you can just also add it here. You can choose from here. So for example, let me choose React, then CSS. You can choose anything from here. You can upload your company logo, then you can choose full time. Then this is default descriptions. You can add your description here, and also you can just define your email address. Then if you submit, then it says job posted successfully. And now let's check if it's posted or not. If you refresh it, then you can see this job you posted. This is on San Francisco full time, and this is the price range, and this is the date of the job post. Okay, that's all actually we're going to make in this project. So let's get started. So this time we have to get started our project. So that's why firstly let me minimize it, and then we will create a folder first. So the folder name would be MERN job portal. And you can see we created this folder. We have to open it on VS Code. So let's open VS Code. Okay, fine. So now we'll just drag this folder to VS Code. Okay. So if you do this, then you can see MERN job portal, and this folder is empty. Actually, if you check this folder, this is also empty. We don't have any folder or files here. So project is empty, and firstly we have to create a folder and install React.js for the front end part. So let's dive into Tailwind CSS website, and from here we'll get step-by-step guideline how you can install React using Vite. So that's why hit this get started button, and from here you can see there are various different options to install Tailwind CSS and others. So that's why from here we will click this framework guideline, and then we'll hit this Vite, and from here you will just create a React project using Vite and Tailwind CSS. So let's see. Firstly, we have to create our project. So to create our projects, we have to copy this line. Okay, Control C for copy. And now here, look, this project is empty. You can just hit here, then new terminal. So a terminal will open here, or you can just drag it to open the terminal. So we'll paste the code here, npm create vid at the latest. Here this is the project name, and that dash template react. We'll have to edit the project name, so that's why let me edit it, job portal client. Okay, now this project name would be job portal client, and let me press enter. So you can see a folder is created and some others stuff are inside the folder. Then it says now run cd job portal client. That means now our folder is on this directory, so we have to change the directory. Cd means change directory, so let's change the directory. Okay, fine. Now MERN job portal slash job portal client, so this is the current directory. Then we have to install this, so that's why npm install. So it will include node modules to your project. So if you check after completing this, you will see node modules are included on these projects. So now it's completed, and you can see this is the node modules and their src folder. Inside the src folder there's others folder, and this is public folder. So this is the basic structure of a React project. So now our next option is we have to command this npm run dev. So let me copy and paste it here. Npm command dev, that will open this project one browser. So let me see what's going on. So press enter. So here you can see this is the localhost link. So if you just press Ctrl and click here, then you can see this is the default page of this website. So this website is rendering from app. Let me check it. So if you click this src, then app.jsx, here you can see some code. So that's why you can see this interface. Okay, let me clear everything. So from this fragment to this fragment, let me create a empty fragment here and write something like is one, then hello developer. Okay, so let me close this and other unused variable. Okay, if you check, now you can see hello developers from this line. Actually, hello developers from this line. So our initial project setup is done. Now we have to customize these projects. So for this, by there on app.js there are some default styling, we have to clear it. So if you clear it, then you can see now our text are here, and we can say that there are also others stuff of styling. So let me close this one, and here you can see app index.css, there are also some styles. Let me close clear it actually. So I clear it everything. Okay, fine, everything is good. And then we have to install css on this project, so that's why we'll just go to the step 2, and here we have to firstly command this line. So copy it, and from here open the terminal. You can just close it by pressing ctrl c, and then press ctrl v, and here npm install dash d tailwind css both css and auto prefixer. I just copied this from this line. Okay, so then press enter. Right now we are going to install tailwind css. So if you check your dependency, that means package.jsn. So here you can see dev dependency, and here you can see tailwind css, post css, and auto prefixer. From here you can see we have commanded that's on this line. And next we have to copy the second line. We have to initialize tailwind css, So if we command this, then we will get tailwind.config.js file on here. You can see on the left there is no tailwind.config.js file, but after we command this, you can see a tailwind.config.js file is created. Okay, fine. So next one is we have to configure your template path. So actually we have to edit our tailwind.config.js file. You have to copy this content actually, and then let me just minimize it, and from here you can see this is the tailwind.config.js. Now our content is empty, but it says we have to replace this actually. So copy it again and then remove it, paste it there. Okay, this option is done. Then fourth sections, here we have to update our tailwind derivatives, tailwind directives. So copy this code and you have to paste it to .src/index.js. So that's why this is src folder, and inside this src folder you can see index.css. You can just paste it here. Okay, so if you do this and then run this command again and refresh it, then you can see our tailwind is working here. And if you want to check, let me close these on, and from here if you write any classes of Tailwind CSS, for example text 5xl, then if you go there you can see this is text 5xl, that was the text size. And if you want bold, that's why font bold. If you want some color, so text maybe indigo 700. Okay, now you can see our project is configured by Tailwind CSS. So Tailwind is working properly. So if these, then for these projects we will use React Router DOM. So that's why we have to set up that on. So React Router DOM, then search it, and here you can see reactrouterdom.com, and this is the website. Click here. Then what you will do, we'll go to the tutorial sections, and if you scroll a little bit you can see setup options, and here it says firstly we have to create your projects. We have already done this first line, and then we have to install these on actually npm install React Router DOM these on. So you can just copy this line, and as this terminal is running we can just create a new terminal, or you can just add it. Let me split it for now. So if you split it you can see this is another terminal, and firstly we have to move to the project directory. So that's why we will type cd, that means sales directory, and then job portal. You can use tab to switch different folders. Okay, so this is job portal client, and press enter. Now the folder directory is there, and here you can just paste the command npm install react router DOM, then local forest and some other stuff. If you want to remove this you can also do that, but okay, let me go with this. So it will going to install, and then next one is we have to set up our routers. So for router setup we actually create a new folder. Okay, so at this meantime let me create a new folder on src path. So here we'll just define a folder router, and then inside this router folder we'll just create a router.jsx. So here what we will have to do, will actually set up our router. So let me copy this line and paste it here. We have to export the router, so that's why export default, then this router. Okay, so for this project you can see a error, actually create browser router is not defined, so that's why we have to import it. So if it's not import properly, you can just copy this line from here and paste it at the top. So we don't need router provider, we just need these on actually. It's just copy paste, you can see this from here. So then the next option is we have to use router provider routes equal router. Okay, so copy this line actually, and then from your src you can see main.jsx. Open this, and instead of this app, actually let me remove this react strike mode and then paste it here. So you have to firstly import this, so that's why react router from DOM, and we have to import router, so that's why again what you can do, you can import this router. So let me check. Okay, you can see dot slash router slash router dot jsx, that's it. So let me press enter. So this is imported. App is not configured, let me delete it, and let me this also. So if you can do it, then you can see, if you check your website, sorry, Dijon, you can see hello world, but at the app.jsx we have hello developers. So why hello worlds? It's actually we have set up a router, and at the router.jsx space you can see on the root path slash means root path, here hello world is written on this div, so that's why you can see this text instead of hello developer. So how to fix it? Instead of this we actually use our app here. So app, import it and then close it. So if you do this, now hello developer is working, that means our router setup is complete. So then what you will do, will actually can create some pages. So for this let me define a children, then here we will actually use curly braces and define path, and the path would be root path. And when it's root path, what we will do, we actually define elements. So here the element would be home page, so that's on the src folder we will create a folder that would be pages. Okay, then inside this pages we have home.jsx. Let me use rafc, react functional component export components. So why I use shortcut, so let me show again, rafce. So this one actually, if you install react, actually install ES7 React Redux and React Native Snippet, this extension, then you can use shortcut like this one, RAFCE. That means a template of React component will be created easily. So now we have to use it on this element, so that's why let me import home and close it. If you do this right now, you can see, sorry, these on actually, let me close these on. So nothing changes. Actually, why not changes? We created a home component and insert it on these child sections, but we haven't defined any outlet or something to say the child. So that's why instead of this line we can use outlet. Okay, fine. Now you can see this is the home from, let me close this, from this home actually. So if you type home page, and you can see automatically this is home page. So if you just define a navbar here, so for example, let me define navbar, and this is navbar. So now you can see navbar home page, and you can also define a footer. Then you can also see this is footer. So for the uses of this, okay, actually let me show you. If you create a about page, for example, inside this page, so click this page and create a about page. So about.jsx array fce react functional components. Okay, to just fix it, you can just let me copy it and use it on ESLint, and instead here we'll just use this, and then we'll define 0 or something. Okay, fine. So in our router.jsx we actually define another child. So let me format it, and this is the first child, you can see, and then we use a comma. We can copy this line, and here instead of root path we can define about, and that would be our about components. Okay, so if you do this now nothing changes, but if you just define about here and press enter, look, our navbar is fixed, footer is fixed, but it's about now. If you go back to the root page, then you can see it's home. The number and the footer is fixed, but our children are rendering on this block. So that's why this is the power of React. You can use outlet to render all your children here. So if this, okay, let me just delete this. Now this time we have to make some customizations to build this project. Actually, here are a little color theme, you can use it. So that's why we will just use this color theme. So for this, to just get the color theme, so let me close it, and on the router page, so we don't need this right now, so let me just remove it, and then okay, we have to close these on actually. Then if everything okay, we'll go to the tailwind.config. Here we need some colors, so that's why we'll extend the theme. So that's why from here we will just type colors, and the uses is we have to use curly braces. Okay, fine. Then we will just define a string, as we're going to define a primary color, so that's why primary, and after then we'll use a colon, and here we have to use an string of color value. So our color value is 141414. So right now on this home page, let me just uses of it. So define a class name, and if you just define text primary and just check your website, it's not working. So why not working? Let me just turn it off and npm run dev. If you edit anything on tailwind.config.js, you have to start your projects again. So now you can see nothing. So let me just define other colors. Maybe this color is actually working. So if we just define another color for blue field, so let me just define blue colors, and here we will use hash 3575 e2. Okay, so let me try to use it. So here instead of primary we'll define blue. Okay, it's working. Look, this is blue colors, and if you check here it's suggesting this is blue color. So these two colors we will need for these projects, and we will need some CSS also. That's why I will provide a Git repository link on the description, so you will check it. Here you have a starter file, and there actually you can find these project structures. You just have to install these instead of what I am doing right now. You can use these actually. So this is the starter file, and from here what you can do actually, if I have to copy something, so firstly you can just copy your app.css. Here's some styling. This is the font that we used in this projects. So here are some basic styling. You just copy this and paste it on app.css. So let me just copy this, and then from here, from src, this is app.css, and we'll paste it. There's some basic styling I just created for you. You can just get it from this repository. Then we need some data and assets, so that's why we'll go to public folder, and here you can see we have images folder. So there are some others images and a jobs.json file. So here are some JSON data and salary data. Actually we need these all. So you will download this repository from here. Let me show you. So from this code you can just download this zip, or just use this URL to clone this actually. So after downloading this you will get this folder. Actually let me show you. We'll get a folder. So here is our folder, and then you have to copy this. Actually you will copy, let me delete this bit, we don't need this. We will copy these three. So press Ctrl C, and then when you have done, so let me check the desktop, and this is the MERN job portal, and this is our folder. So inside this folder we have public folder, and we'll paste it here. Okay, so if you do this and check it again on your VS Code, you can see we have images, and then we have jobs data. We'll actually fetch data from backend part. Right now for completing the frontend part we will use this JSON file, but when our frontend part will be done, then we'll move to backend, and instead of using this static JSON file, we will just create and render it from the backend. So okay, so right now everything is fine. Let me close all these on also, and this time actually what we'll do, so here you can see we have a Navbar. So we are going to create this Navbar. So for this, to create this Navbar, you can see app.jsx, we have a hard-coded Navbar. Instead of doing this, so on this src folder we will just create another folder that would be name component. Okay, inside this component we have a file name navbar.jsx rafce and add the help.jsx instead of hard-coded navbar. We import these navbar components. So import this navbar components, and if you check, then you can see this is navbar from here. So right now we have to design these navbar sections. Okay, for this, firstly let me define const is menu open. So we will define a use state, and then we will actually copy this, paste it here. Instead of small vectors, we will just define is set is menu open, then use state and make it false. Okay, fine. So then we'll need a toggle button, so that's why we'll define handle menu toggler, then it will be a function, then use arrow. So this is a arrow functions curly braces, and inside here we'll just make sure the set menu open. When we click these functions, we'll define set menu opened is not main open. Actually that means it will toggle. When you click this, our is main open will be true. When you click again, then it will be false, so it will toggle. Okay, fine. So let's get started. Let's design this number. Right now we can see our number is this one. Okay, so instead of this we can use a header. This is a semantic tag, and instead of here we actually define a nav. So here inside this nav we will have a anchor tag, and that would be root slash, and here what we need actually let me define a name that would be job portal for now. So this is job portal. Job portal, if you check right now you can see this is job portal, and we need a logo there. So for this maybe we have a Figma file. So this is a Figma file. From there we'll just copy this, actually the logo. You can use this Figma file. I will also include that for you. Okay, it's only for the home page, it's not for the other page like these on, these on, or these on. It's just for the home page. So let me click here, and maybe this is the wall and this is the ellipse. You can just see these one. You can just export it from here or use this SVG. Let me copy this SVG, and now here we will paste it there. Okay, fine. Then instead of this we can use a span tag. Okay, fine. Here's some errors. So it's actually file opacity. As we are using React, we cannot use dash here. It would be something like this. Okay, let me format it this code, and then if you check, then you can see this is the logo and this is the logo text from here. So on our main website it's side by side, so that's why we will add some class name on this. So that's why here class name, that would be flex items center, then gap would be 2, and then text would be 2xl. Okay, fine. So after using these classes you can see this is the logo, actually similar to this one. The color is not appropriate. You can see this is the black colors. So you can just define it text black or something for the appropriate color. Okay, now it's fine. Then what you will do, will actually need to define these nav items. So for this we'll actually create a nav items and we'll render it there. It's a variable of array of objects. So const nav items equal, then we'll use arrow sign. So it will be a arrow of objects, so that's why we'll use curly braces for the objects, and then we'll define path. The path would be, first path would be the root path, and then we'll define title. The title would be, okay, let me copy it from the Figma. It would be similar like this on, then we'll use a comma, then let me copy it for 4 times, and then the second one would be my job. Okay, here we'll define the title would be my jobs. Then third number is salary. Let me copy it and define it estimated, salary estimated, or just salary estimated or estimate. Then the last one is about post job. Post job. It here will define post a job. Okay. So if you do this, let me just close this, and after this actually let me define navbars, nav items for large devices. Okay, here we will actually define a eval tag. Inside this eval tag we will just render our nav item, so that's why curly braces, and here we'll copy this, and here we'll just define map, and then here we'll just destructure this path and the titles after then. So make sure this is inside a parenthesis, and here we'll use a arrow sign, and then we'll use another parenthesis, and firstly we'll define a li. We'll have to just pass key props, that would be our path. Okay, fine. Then inside this li we will use nav links from React Router DOM. So let's see where is nav links. So if you hit this active link styling, then you can see you can use nav links. So we'll have to input it from React Router DOM. So let me just press enter, a angle bracket, then lab link, input it from React Router DOM, and let me close this way, or you can just copy it from here. So let me just copy these lines and paste it here. So the true would be, this is the true, and let me write it. Will actually render the link for path from this, so that would be path. Okay, fine. Then instead of other code we'll just pass our title. So if you do this, so let's check our website, then you can see this is active, start a search, then this is my jobs and all the nav items here. So this is the home. Okay, fine. So for this, actually, what we will do, we don't need painting. So that's why let me remove these on. So you can just format it properly. So it's very simple. We define a link nav link items from React Router DOM and to define path. So when you click any of these, then that would be moved to the specific page, and then we'll define class. Here we'll use is active class. When it's active, then we will use active. We don't need this pending. Okay, fine. So this is very simple. If you hit any of this, then as it's not any pages, so that's why it's not showing, but it will work properly. So now we have to add some styling, so that's why let me define a class name here. Then we will define that would be text would be base. You can just get styling guideline from this Figma. If you click here, then you can see this is font size. The font size would be 16, so that means text base. So this is 16, and then you can see this is the color, this is the font is already used on app.css. This is the font. You can see DMS sense, so we don't need to worry about that. Then this is the font weight, line weight. You can get the styling. I have already have enough idea, that's why we don't need to check it. We have to define the primary color, so that's why we use text primary. So right now our project is on these stage. Then when it's done, so but it's not side by side, so that's why we will add class name here on this UL, and we'll make sure that would be by default hidden on small devices, but on medium devices it would be flex. So that's why empty clone flex and gap would be 12. That means gap 3 RAM. So if you check now it's side by side, then let me close this evil, and then after then we actually need to the sign up and login button. You can see sign up and login button. We will design these two button. So sign up and login button. So here we'll define a div. We'll need to define class name. The class name would be text base, then text primary, then font medium, then space x5. By default it would be hidden. On large devices it would be blocked. Okay, that's the class name, and inside this we'll define link components. While link we want to render it on another page, so that's why link, and each link will have a path, so that would be true. And here we'll define slash login, and we will need to define login, and again we'll just define copy it again, and then we'll define this is sign up page, and it would be sign up. Okay, so if you check your website now, you can see this is login sign up, but we need this type of styling, so that's why we'll just use a class name here. Then that would be py, that means padding to the top and bottom. That would be 2, padding to the start and end, that means left and right, it would be 5. Then we will have border, then we'll have rounded. So that is border radius. So if you check, then you can see this is login, and then let me define class name here. We'll define the same classes. So let me copy it and paste it here. Straight off here, the additional is we'll define a background color, so basic blue. And we'll define text white, actually text white. So now you can see this is login button, this is sign up button. Okay, so but it's not like this one, so we have to styling this one. So actually you can see here we have header, we don't have defined any class, so we can define class. So let me set a width here, so that's why max width, and we'll define a screen, and that would be true excel. Then we'll define it's a container, so we'll define mx auto. So if you check right now, then you can see this is here. And then we'll define on excel, that means extra large devices, we'll define px padding to the start and end, that would be 24. And then by default px, that would be 4. So if you see, then you can see wall is here, the style is broken. But how to fix it? Let's style on this nav. So here we'll define class name, and that would be we'll define flex. Then we'll define justify between, then item center, we'll define py 6. Okay, now check it. Now our styling is pretty okay, like this one. So you can see here is a space, so let me remove this space from the logo. Okay, and remove this empty string. Now you can see the styling is okay. Okay, fine. So what next? If you just spec, then and by default you can see the sign up and sign in logo is section is not visible. But if you just increase the size, you can see this button is visible. And if you just down the size, then you can see only logo is here, but we don't have nav items. So right now we have to design this for our small screen. So after this div, actually we'll take another div. So we'll define a name comments here, so that would be mobile menu. Here we'll take a div. Inside this div we have a button, and here we actually use React icons. So that's why go to React icons, search it, and then this is the first website. We have to install these icons, so you can just copy this, and from your terminal here you can see this is additional terminal, and you can use it. If you want, you can just stop it using Ctrl+C, and then you can use this terminal also. I have another second terminal, so that's why I'm using this one. So after installing this, we actually use bar icons. So bar, if you search bar, you can see lots of bar icons are there. So you can see bars. Let me define is phrase chart or something. We can use this type, or let me check which is used there. So this is the styling. So For this, actually, we can just import it from its font awesome 6 icons. So that's why if you hit this is font awesome 6. So let me here, we have to copy this, or you can just type it simply. So let me type it at the top. We'll define import, then we have curly braces, and here from, and that would be react icons slash, as it's a font awesome, so that's why if is 6. You can see, you can click any of these. So this is font awesome 6. If you want font awesome 5, this is if actually if you want material icons. So where is the material? So this is material also icons, that's why react icons slash md. So this is the styling, and here we will use what use, we'll need fa bars stagers. So this one we'll use it inside this button actually. So let me use it. So I got angle brackets, this one, and then okay. So if you check your website, now you can see this is the button. We need to add a little styling. So here we'll define class name, that would be w5, and age would be, height would be 5. Then we'll have text primary. Okay, fine. But so this is now the button is okay, but here if you click, then you can see nav items are on the drop down. So how to design this actually? Okay, it's very simple. Let me define a class name. Here we'll actually define on medium screen, it would be hidden, and by default it would be block. Okay, then on this button actually we'll define a one click, and the one click would be, we'll pass these handles. So handle toggler, you can see this is the handle togglers, and we'll pass it inside these actually. So now it's still not working, we have to use a curly braces, and we'll check if menu open, then we'll show something. So that would be, let me define a empty fragments, and then we'll actually paste our these on. So now instead of empty fragment, we can use another icons, that would be a x mark icon. So x mark, okay, and the class name would be the same. So let me copy this on and paste it here. So okay, let's check. If you click, then it's cross, again click, it's bar. Okay, so this is working properly, but right now we have to show these nav items when you click there, and when you hit, then it will move. Okay, that's our next target. So what we will do, let me close this on. After this, all nav items actually, so close all the navs, and then we will actually define nav items for mobile, and here we'll actually take a div, then we'll take a ul. Inside this ul actually we can copy everything from here, so from our first nav items, so here copy it. So if you do this right now, you can see the items are here, but we have to use conditional. So that's why here at the div we'll define class name, will use template string, so that's why curly braces. And then here we'll define by default px would be 4. Then we'll define background color, that means bg black. We'll define py padding to the top and bottom 5, and we'll define rounded sm. So if you check, then you can see this is the styling. Then instead of text primary, we can define text white. Okay, now if you refresh, nothing happens. So what we'll do actually, here we'll take a dollar sign curly braces, and here we'll check if main open, then we'll show some styling, otherwise it would be empty. So the first on here will be empty, but here at the second one we'll define hidden. So if you do this, and now by default it is hidden, so let me check it on larger size. So by default all the nav items is hidden, but when you click, then nav items are there, and when you hit again it's gone. Look, now need to some modifications, so that's why here what we'll do, we'll actually define first, that would be the first child, and then we'll define text white, then we'll define py1. So now it's something hit here, this is okay. So after then actually this is fine, but let me refresh it. Okay, you can see the login. So here after this curly braces, here we can just copy these one actually and paste it the link here. So instead of hard coded this, we'll just keep it inside a link. Okay, we'll define class name text white and define py is 1. Okay, let's check it. So there is a border, we don't need the border, that's why let me delete this border, but you can just remove all the classes, we don't need to define classes here. So you can see the white color is not rendered properly, so let's me check it again. Text white. Okay, it's removed, and now this is okay, but I don't know why the white color is not applied there. So let me try to use other colors, maybe this color. Okay, any colors is not working. Maybe we can just restart this again. Okay, let me just start this project again. npm run dev. This color is not applying. Okay, got it. Maybe we have some inherit colors on anchor tag. It's from style components. So where is the styling components? So it's on app.css. So let me check app.css. Maybe here is the default styling. So let me just make remove it, this color. So now this is fine. Okay, so if you have this, let me refresh it, it's gone. So this time, actually let me refresh it. So this time actually we have to design this banner sections. So if you search anything here, so for example developers, then you can just see the the jobs is rendering. We have to create these functions, this banner actually right now. So for this, so let me close this, and we don't need this one. So our Navbar is completed, and at the home, actually home folders, so we don't need this. We will define a new div. Inside this div we will just create a Navbar. So for this, in this component folder we'll create banner.jsx array fce. As usual, we need react functions functional component, and we have to import it from here, banner. So right now if you check your website, this is banner. We have to add a little styling on these sections, but we will do that later. So let me design this banner sections for now. So firstly, inside this div actually we'll define class name. The class name would be max w sprint to excel, then container mx auto, then excel px24, then by default px4. And also on medium devices we'll define py20. By default py will be 14. So if you do this and then just define a text banner, then you can see this is the banner, and the text align are similar to the first one, and everything is okay. So right now what you will do, in a stage of this, actually we need to define this text. That's why copy this text. You can just copy it from your Figma file. So this is the text, you can copy it from here also. Then we'll need a h1 tag, and we'll paste these there. So if you check your website, now you can see this is the text. We have to add styling. You can inspect the styling from here. Look, this is the styling. You can check it and use it on Tailwind. Okay, sorry for this. So I'm recording for a longer time, so that's why our voice is a little bit cringy. Okay, let's define a class name. That would be text5xl. Okay, fine. Then it would be font bold, bold, then text primary, then margin bottom would be 3. So let's check it. Now this is the text is done. We have to add need to change this color, so that's why span new jobs, and here we would have class name text blue. Oh sorry, not black, it's blue. Okay, Now you can see this is similar to this one. Then we need to define this text. So that's why under this h1 we will define a p tag and paste that text. Here we will define class name, that would be text large. It's actually font size 18 pixels, and then text would be black, and we will use some opacity, so that's why slash, then the opacity would be 0.7, that means 70, and then we will define mb, that means margin bottom 8. So let's check. So this is the text. After then we have to create these two input fields. So that's why we'll define a from. We don't need to define actions. Here we'll define a div. Then inside this div we will have another div, and inside this div we will have input field. Then that would be input text. It would be title, job title actually. Then we'll have class name. The class name would be, firstly let me block it, flex 1, border 0, then busy transparent, padding py to 1.5, then p left 8, text gray 900s, then placeholder text, placeholder text would be gray 400s, then focus would be ring 0, then os on sm small devices, it would be text is small. By default on small devices leading would be 6. So that's the styling for the input field. So this is the input field, you can see nothing. So let me define a placeholder so that you can take it. So the placeholder would be from this Figma file, you can see what you are looking for. Okay, so right now you can see what you are looking for. You can add class name here, that would be flex on medium devices, rounded on starting size, that would be md, then by default would be rounded. We have shadow sm, ring 1, then ring inside, ring gray 300, focus would be, and that means focused within, ring 2, focus within. You don't need these, but you can just define it, ring inside, then focus within, ring indigo 600, On medium devices it would be half. By default it would be full. Okay, that's the styling. Then check it, then you can see this is the styling, same styling. So you can just reduce these styling and other stuff. So you can just style based on your demands. So I have this styling right now. Then look, we have icons here. We have a icons here. How to use these icon? After this input field you can use an icon, so that would be from here. So let me import this icon. So here curly braces, and we'll define from that would be react icons slash fi, and here we'll define fi search icon. So that's the icon, and we will just use it here. If I search, let me close it, and here define class name, that position would be absolute. Then we'll define mtop, that would be 2.5. Then on margin left it would be 2, text would be gray 400. That's it. So if you check it, then you can see this is the search icons, and this is the text, and this is the field. So right now you can just copy these on actually. And again, let me define a handle change function here. So we'll define const, we'll define query, q ry query, and then set query. So let me capitalize it, and it would be use state, and it would be empty string. So that's why define empty string, and then we'll define a handle change const, handle input change. It will receive an event. Then we'll use arrow, it's a curly braces, and here we will define set query actually. Then we'll define event dot target dot value. Okay, so from this first input field we will actually use this. So how you can use this? We'll define a onces functions on chains. Then we'll define these handle input chains, and then we'll define value would be query. Okay, so if you do this and then let me inspect it to see you. So reload it, and if you type anything, for example wave, you can see nothing. So let me just console it here, clg. Then let me just console the text. So if we type anything, you can see wave developer. So we are getting it from banner.jsx 8 number line. So this is the 8 number line, and we're setting this query. If you just console log this instead of this line, So let me delete this. Then you can see the same thing. If you write something software, you can see this is software. Each time it's written properly. So this way we can use it, but we actually do a better thing. We'll just use this two from our home file, and then we'll just pass it to there. So how we'll pass it there? Actually, all the functionality will be here. We'll render everything on home page and pass it on banner. So here at the banner, we'll define query equal this query, and then we'll define handle input change. Then we just send full functions. So handle input change equal these full functions. So copy it and paste it here. So if we send this and then we have to receive it from here, so that's why we'll just destructure this. So this is query and this is handle input, and now you can just remove this query handle input. Here's some missing profs of validation, so that's why we can just right now to ignore this mark, you can just quick fix it to disable this, or you can just modify this actually. So let me modify this for wall so that it will not show error. You can use 0 or off statement. So if you do this and let me refresh it and check if it's working. Web dev, so let me console log it from home. So clg query, so this is web dev lover. Now you can see now it's on home.jsx 9 number line. So here is the line. So we just use these states and functions on the home component and we will pass it using props on this banner.jsx, and we're using here. So this time we have to design these locations and this button. So let me copy these on, and then you can see the button is bottom. So instead of search here, we can use fa map pin. So this is map pin, and we'll just instead of placeholder we'll use location. Then we don't need to pass any value, we just use empty. Okay, fine. Look, can remove this for the second one. We don't use filtering based on location, so that's why remove it. And for this right now, so this is one after one, we have to make it side by side. So for this actually what we'll do, we'll target this div, add class name. The class name would be flex justify start on medium devices. Flex would be go, by default flex would be column. Then on medium devices gap would be 0, by default gap would be 4. Okay, fine. Now check it. Now it's on site, but it's a bit bigger, so we have to modify it. what you can do, actually look here, we will define this on empty. Instead of doing this, we can define it would be 1/3. So if you do this, now it's a smaller, then we have to need a button, so that's why we will use a button after this div, so that's why a button, and the type would be submit. Type would be submit. Then we'll define class name. We'll have busy blue. Then py2 px8 text white. Then on medium devices, rounded is none, by default rounded. Okay, now check it. You can see this is rounded. Our text would be SARS. Okay, fine. Now check it. But here is, this is not similar to this one. We have to remove this one actually. Instead of this, we will define none. Okay, let's check it. Now it's okay. So our banner section is done. Now we have to move to these filter sections and have to render this based on locations. So let me search it. So by default alt is shown. When we hit, then you can see only 2 job is available on London. You can click this. Now Seattle has one job. Then on Madrid we have no job. On Boston we have one job. You can also filter based on yearly salary, monthly salary, by default wall. Then you can just render it based on the salary range. And internship also, look, you can also filter based on the job type, full-time, part-time, and etc. We will just design these actually. So for these actually our banner is done. Now at the home page we have a lots of tasks there. What actually do, we will use define some use state. So firstly let me define const. Then we will use state. Then by default we will define it's null. And here we will define selected category, comma, set selected category. So S would be capitalized. So these on, then we'll define const. We'll just define jobs, all jobs, and set jobs equal. We'll define use state. Look, if you check your public folder, you can see jobs data, and it's an array of objects. So this is array, so that's why here we'll define it's a array. After then so let me load the data actually here. So have to load the data. We can use fetch or use effect. So use effect, then we'll have a dependency, empty dependency, and here we will have a callback function. So it's arrow, then curly braces, we'll fetch it. Right now we'll fetch it from public folder, but we'll use our backends, so we'll do it later. But let me define jobs as its public folder. We don't need to define slash. We'll just directly define jobs.json. Then we have to define a then it would be brace arrow, then brace dot json. After then we will have another then, and we will use actually data equal, can use curly braces, and here define. Firstly, let me console log this data what we're getting. So if you do this, and this is our folder, let me refresh it again, inspect it again. Then if you check your console, refresh it, now it says a value on home.18 line, value props on chase handler is not default value. Okay, let's check it. Okay, let me just console out this. Okay, fine. Now refresh it. It says props a value that to the handler, not a default value. Okay, maybe we need to check a little bit on banner.jsx. Here we'll use this. Let me just remove it. Maybe is it okay? It's moved. So now we will go with all the 12 data as we have on this JSON file, jobs.json file. So we're getting 12 data. You can see it's 12 data, 6 actually. And here is at the top there are 6, so total 12 data. And you can see all the data is there. So if you go to the data, so from the home page we can set it to this state. So let me set it. So set jobs, and we set this data actually data. So now if you just console log these jobs, we'll get all the data. Let me console out this. We don't need to comment out this, and now you can see firstly this is empty, but on home.jsx number 15th, then you can see the data is here. Next, what we will do, we actually want to filter based on job titles. Here on the JSON file you can see we have job titles, and if you check the banner, actually you can see this is the banner, and here we want to search based on job title here on this field. So for this on the home page, actually let me comment here, filter jobs by title. Okay, fine. So for this let me define const filtered items. Here we will just actually filter this job. Here you can see using this JSON file we are getting jobs, so we will filter jobs. So that's why here we will type jobs, and then we will define filter methods. So that's why this filter method, and filter method by default will get job here. Then we'll use arrow sign. Each time we will receive a job, and then we will use arrow sign. Here we'll define job dot, and in the JSON file we have job titles, so that's why this is job titles, job titles, and we need to define this job title would be all lowercase. Actually look, here is a capital letters, but we want it a small letter, so that's why we can use Java script to lowercase. So if you just search this, you can find this way how you can just make it lowercase. We can use this method actually. So let me just copy it and then paste it here, so it would be lowercase, and then we'll use another method that would be index of. You can also search it. Why I am searching this, actually I want to show you how you can explore that, so that's why we'll use index of in JavaScript. So how to use, you can just use this way. We will pass a, instead of a string we'll pass a value here. So let me copy this, so index of, and then we'll pass a value. Our value would be this query, actually this query. So here index of, we will pass this query, and then we also make it to lowercase. Actually now anyone can type uppercase, lowercase, or something like this, but we want to convert it to lowercase, so that's why to lowercase. And then actually here we'll define not equal, then -1. Okay, so if you define this and try to console log it, filtered items. Okay, let me try it. Just inspect it, check console. So here we're getting data from 25 number lines, so 15 number lines. This is, let me close it, and then here you can see a console log, and that would be from here. And if you search anything, for example wave, look, you can getting two data based on wave. If you check any of this, then you can see where is the job title, web developer. Web, let me define developer. So if you type fully, then you can see we have two data. If you write anything, that means software, okay, we have also two data, so that would be look again, so software engineering, and the second data also software engineering. So we can just filter data based on title this way. Actually this is the methods how you can filter data based on these. Okay, so let me console, let me comment out it, and then we can just delete it there. If there are too much comment, then you will be confused. Okay, then we will type radio bar based filtering. So if you check here, you will find on our main websites the filtering. So this is Seattle related job, Madrid have no, so it's a button type actually. So that's why we will just define a radio filtering. So let me comment here, that would be, so radio based button filtering. Let me just do this way. Then we'll define const handle change, then it will receive an event, then it would be arrow functions. And here actually here we have to define a user state. You can see this is a user state, and we will just set these set user states here, and we will pass event dot target dot value. Okay, so this is okay. And then one thing here, we're writing all our functions at this time. Here you have some three buttons. You can see you can filter based on monthly salary, yearly salary, and hourly. So you can see this filtering, it's a button, so that's why we'll write another functions that would be for buttons. So that's why button based filtering functions, filtering. So for this we'll define const that would be handle click. Handle click, it also receive an event. Sorry, it's not else, it would be event. Then obviously it would be arrow functions, and it will just set the value to the set selected category. Set here actually this selected category. So these two are same but different function. One will work for radio button and another will work for a specific button. So that's why this is okay. Fine. Next, what we will do, we will actually do our main tasks. So this is main functions. Okay, so in this main functions, what we will actually do, we'll define const and then filtered data. It will be a function, and this function will receive three parameters. So first one will be jobs data. All the jobs will pass all the jobs. So this is jobs, will pass in this function all the jobs. And then we have selected item, so that would be selected. And lastly we will pass query. So it would be arrow functions. So that's why this arrow, firstly we will define let filtered jobs equal, we will define the jobs. So then what we will define, we will check if query is available. So if you get any query, we'll just set this filtered job equal this value job items. Okay, let me add a comment so that you can understand it properly. So filter ring input items. Okay, then we will check if category is any category is selected. So that's why category filtering. Okay, so here we will actually check if the you have selected any items. Okay, so for example, if you hit this button or this ratio button, it will just move to this block. It's our code will render from this block. And if it got the query, then it will render from this block. Okay, fine. So inside this, firstly we'll just define, we'll just make sure filter job, and then we'll just filter job, we'll copy it again, then we will define filter methods, and then by default we will get jobs. Let me just define it using parenthesis. Actually we will just destructure the data, then arrow sign, and here actually let me define parenthesis here. Okay, what will destructure, will destructures based on, we have already job titles, so we don't need that. We have location based, so that's why we'll just look here, we have location based, so that's why job locations, we'll copy this and we'll destructure this one. Then we want to destructure based on max price, so we'll copy and paste it here. Then we want based on experience level, salary type, so copy all this salary type, then employment type. Okay, maybe you can use posting dates also. Okay, So then we'll try to match based on it. So our job locations, so job locations will be equal to selected, and we will use war operator here, and after then we will just define max price. Then we will try to match it to selected, then arrow sign. So each time you can see job locations. If you check the job locations data, then you can see it's a string, and we will receive a string here. Sorry, the selected item will be obviously an string, so that's why we can compare it using two lowercase. So that's why we'll define two lowercase, we'll convert it there, and we can copy it for this one also, so it will get you a better results. Then our max price is obviously a string, we will convert it to parse integer. So that's why let me convert it parse int. So now it will be number, then we will obviously cut it parse int, then it will be number. Okay, then our next one is salary type. So where is the salary type? So let me define this salary type. Then it will be obviously two lowercase, we'll use this method obviously. Then illustrate, obviously it will be selected two lowercase obviously. Oh, here we can just compare the prices, so that's why instead of equal sign we can just use greater than or equal sign. Then obviously we will have these war operators. You can see this is true bar, so this is war operator. You can check your keyboard to make sure these styling. It's sometimes it's called it pile or pipe or something. Then the next one is employee type. Employee type will also have its two lowercase, then we will match it to selected two lowercase. Okay, so probably we have done this block, and after this block we can just if you want you can just console log if you want to check data. So that's why console log filtered data, sorry, filtered jobs. Here would be these filtered jobs if you want to check what we're getting. So after this actually we'll just define a return statement. Make sure it's outside the if block. You have to define return statement outside of the if block. So that's why I'm just close it. Okay, we'll define a return statement, and that would be our filtered job dot map, and then it will have data and index number, and we will try to render a component. So that's why at the components we will create a card dot jsx, then rafce again, fine, and here we'll pass this card. Then we will have to pass props, so the k would be I for indexing, and we will pass data from here. So data equal this data. Okay, if you pass data you must have to receive data from here, that's why receive data. Okay, that's fine. We'll design these a little bit later, but before that, after this block actually after this block main functions, here we'll define a results. So and we will call this function. So look here, this is the functions, main functions, and we will call this function. So without calling you can see anything. So here what you will pass, here we need to pass job, then we'll need to select items. So that's why our selected items, you can see, copy this selected category, and after then we need to pass the query. Where is the query? So this is the query. So we'll pass this three item. Okay, fine. So if you do this, next what we'll do, firstly from here you can see here are three blocks, and at the middle we have these items. Okay, fine. So after this we can take a new div, and let me define a components here. We'll design it a little bit later, but on the page you can create a new page that would be for jobs page. So that would be job.js JSX RAFCE, and here we'll actually render this job. Okay, is it imported? Yeah, imported. And we'll, sorry, uh here we'll pass our results. So this is the results, and then make sure the result is passed. If you passed results, then on the job page actually we'll receive results, and here we'll pass results. Okay, let's check. If you check your website, here you can see all the cards. Actually it's rendering. For example, let me check, let me try to edit the card page. For example, if you want to check the title, so for example let me define h3 for now, and each card has a job title. So let me copy it, and here data dot job title. Okay, now you can see we have job title, and we can check if our filtering option is working or not on this banner. Okay, let's type div. You can see all the div related items are shown here, and if you just again, okay, now we have developer. If you want to make sure it's web developer, let me copy it and paste it here. We have web developer. If you want to just define software, then you can see software related job. If you type UX or UI, then you can see UI related job is rendering. So this way we can just make this. Now this is the styling part. We have three divs here. So now let me, before that let me define this card, or you can do it a little bit later. Let me complete this home actually. So what we can do, so let me define a main content, add a comments here, that would be main content, and inside this div, look, we have three divs, one div, two div, and three div. Okay, so for this let me define div, and we can just copy it for three div. So inside the middle div we have results. Okay, let me just copy clearly. At the middle div we have results, and this is the left, and this is the right. Okay, so let's check left, right, and this is the middle. So what we will do, we will actually add class name. Firstly we will have to define class name here, that would be a background color, the background color. So let me define the background colors from the Figma file. So here you can see we have a background color on this. So the color is this one actually. So you can copy it here and then paste it here. Okay, fine. So this is the background color. After then will define grade on the medium devices. So that's why grade will define grade calls for grade calls for will define gap age. Then on the large devices we'll define pixel to the x-axis would be 24, by default would be 4, and we'll define py, that means padding to the top and bottom, will be 12. So let's check. So now this is left, this is right. Okay, so next we have to make sure it's more closer. So here on this first div, actually let me define class name, and it would be busy white. Then p padding will be 4, and then it would be rounded. And we can also copy this and you can paste it here. So this is the similar, and here on this div we will actually define call span true, and then busy white p4 and rounded. So if you do this and check, okay, fine, you can see this is left, this is our data, and this is right side. Okay, so if it's okay, then what we can do, we can design our card items. So that's why let's design these card items. So here, so inside this we can destructure all data. If you just try to console log the data, what you will get. So let's try to console log and inspect it, check consoles, refresh it. So we are getting all the data from fourth number line of card.jsx. This is card.jsx, so that's why we can destructure it. So const, then we will destructure, that would be data, and here we actually will have all thing. We have company name, we have company name, we have company logo. So let me close this banner, we don't need that, also close it. We don't need jobs, so close it. Okay, so here we will have company logo, then minimum prices, maximum prices, then salary type. You can just copy one by one. We also need job locations. We need employment type, employment type, then posting date. We're actually destructuring it, and obviously we need descriptions. So that's why copy this and paste it here. So now we'll show these data from here. So inside this div we'll actually take a section, or you can just remove this div, we don't need this actually. We can use section here, section. Inside this section we'll define class name card. What is card? Actually, if you check your app.css, then you can see we have already job is done. You can use these utility classes on these card. So that's why we're using utility class. It's for reducing my video length. You can just see on the card we actually add some margin, we have border, we have padding, and we'll define it cursor pointer. Okay, So inside this, we will actually define a link. We have to import it from React Router DOM. Then must inside this link, we will have to define two props, and the two props would be, right now it would be slash, but we'll change it a little bit later, but slash is okay for now. Then we will have class name. The class name would be flex gap 4. Then flex will be call on small devices. Flex would be row, and items would be start. Okay, fine. So now inside these link components, so link inside this link, actually it's not a component, it's a tag. We will have image, and the src path will be dynamic, and that would be company logo. Okay, so if you do this, and then, so let me close it, then you can see all the company logo are here. You can see all the, we have total 12 items, so that's why 12 logo are here. So after then we will have a div, and we'll define class name card details. If you want to learn more, then you can check this. So what is the card details? You can see, check it here. So this is card, and if you go a little bit, so you can just search it, card details. So actually we don't have data there. Maybe we don't need it. So if it's not, we don't need to write. Okay, let me just remove it. We don't need this right now. Maybe we just make a mistake, so that's why. Oh, okay, we don't need the data. Then we will define as4, and it would be company name. So that's a company name, and here we will add class name. The class name would be text primary, and then it would be mb1. That means margin bottom on. So this is text primary, mb bottom on, and then after then we'll define a as3. It will be job title. So job title is, we destructure it, maybe not, so that's why let me copy it and then paste it here or somewhere, and that would be job title. Okay, fine. So let's check. Job title is here. We'll add class name. The class name would be text lg. That means text large. Then font would be semi bold. Then margin bottom will be true. So let's check. It's fine. After then we'll have another div. So here we'll use some span tag. So what we are going to do, actually if you check, we'll have these thing, we have some icons and some text here. Okay, that's why we will define a span tag, and inside this span tag, firstly we will use some icons. So that would be react icons. So let me just use it manually. Here we will just import a script. So sorry, it's not working. Let me do it manually. From, we'll define react icons slash a5. So that means these icons, and we will actually get a5 map pin icons. Okay, So inside this span tag, we actually, if I map pin, let me close it, and then we'll actually render job locations inside this curly brackets, job locations. Okay, let's check it. So here you can see job locations. We need it side by side, so that's why we'll just styling it. So that would be flex item center and gap would be 2. Okay, fine. Now this is okay. This is job locations. We can copy it for 3 times or 4 times. Okay, let me check how many times. It's 4 times. Okay, so that's why you can just 4 time. Here we need to add some changes. That would be, the second one would be fa clock. Okay, and here we will define employment type. Then we need fi dollar sign. Then here we will actually define minimum price, and then dash will define max price. Okay, max price. Then we'll define extra k. Lastly, we'll define calendar, fi calendar, and here we have posting date, job posting date. So let's check. Here we have data. We need to make it side by side. That's why we'll target these div and define class name. Firstly, we will define text would be primary and make the opacity 70%, and then text base, so that would be a smaller size. Then it would be flex, uh, that would be flex verb. Then gap would be 2, and then mb would be 2. Okay, so if you add these classes on this div, now you can see this section is done. The next one is we have to just add the description. So that's why under this div we'll take a p tag, and we'll just make sure that would be description. And here we'll use class name. The class name would be text base, text primary, and that would be 70% opacity. Okay, let's check. Now it's fine. You can see our job cards is done. Isn't it interesting? Yeah, I think it's interesting. So what next? We can design the left side, right side, so then our first page will be complete. So for this, actually, let's go back to the home page. So it's main.jsx, and here you can see this is for job cards, right side, and this one is left side. Okay, so here actually we want to do something. What we want to do, firstly will you want to design this left side. Okay, let's design it. So instead of this we will create a components. So for this, click this src, close this public, and src we will create a folder that would be sidebar. So inside this sidebar, we will have a sidebar component, sidebar.jsx rafce, and instead of this left, actually instead of this left, we'll define this. Let me use angle bracket, that would be sidebar. Okay, close this. And here we'll pass some props. The props will be, what props will be, firstly we'll define handle change. So where is the handle change? You can see this is filter item, this handle change. We'll pass these props to this so that we can receive it from the sidebar. So let me receive this one for now. Then what next, we will have to pass handle click functions, and that would be this handle click. Okay, now copy this and use a comma and paste it here. Okay, fine. So if you do this, next you have to design the sidebar. So here in this sidebar, actually stage of 3, we can use class name, that would be space y5, not x. Then here we'll actually look, we will have to define a h3, and that would be filters. So we will add class name. The class name would be text lg, then font bold, then mb2. Okay, let's check. So this is filters. After then we'll have the first one is locations. So you can see this is location based filtering. First one is, that's why we'll just create a new component, that would be location.jsx. It will be on sidebar. So location, let me write these functions and import it from here. Location component, make sure it's capitalized. You must have to capitalize it to define these components. And we will pass handle change equal this handle change. Okay, so as we pass handle change, we'll just receive it from these props. So props. Okay, now let's design this handle change. Okay, from the src, here what we will do, we'll style this. That's why firstly we'll define a h4, and that would be location, and here we'll add class name. The class name would be text lg, font medium, then margin bottom will be 2. Okay, let's check. Now here this is locations, this is locations, and this is our locations. So this way, next what we'll do, we'll define a new div. So that's why on this location.jsx, let me close this card, we don't need this. So here on this, after this we'll define a div, and then we'll define label. So we don't need HTML4. We'll actually define class name, and then it would be sidebar. You can check it from here. So sidebar label container. So this is sidebar label container. You can just copy these classes from here, just these classes. You can see actually these div, you can just copy it and then paste it here. So inside this level actually will have input, then input type would be radio, so that's why radio. Then we want we can define it a test base, and the id will be test. It's not mandatory to write id. Then by default we'll define value would be empty string. Then okay, here we'll define on chains, and we'll pass this handle chains inside this. And after then we will have a span tag, and the span would be empty, and here we will type wall or just this wall. We'll have class name. A class name would be check mark. You can just copy it from here. So this is the check mark. Okay, let's check what is its wall, and you can select it. Can you imagine how interesting this is? It's similar to this wall. Okay, so though it's not that when we click wall, the jobs will be shown, and each page will have 6 data, and then here is another data. Then when we click London, then it will show London based on data. Okay, if this done, actually next we will have to define a input field. So let me create a component for this input. What we can do, we'll just make sure write a components, that would be input field. So why we'll write a component? Actually it will just help you a lot time, so that's why let me type input field dot css. It's a component arrayfca. So this component will receive three things. Firstly, handle chains. So let me copy this handle chains. Then it will receive a value, then a title, then a name. Okay, so then instead of this div we can actually define a label. So the class name would be, we can just copy it from the locations. Actually we can just copy this. So let me format it, Control Shift Alt, and then here we will just make it dynamic. We'll just use name equal name. Then let me delete this id, we don't need this id actually. Then value would be this value, the props, and then handle on change will be handle change, and here instead of wall we'll use title. Okay, so if you do this you can just easily make other components here. Actually what we will do, actually we will just import these items. So input field, import this. So we'll have to pass something. So first one is handle change equal these handle change. Then we will need to define a value. Then here we will name a location name, that would be London. So let me copy it from there if it's there. Okay, let me type it manually. London. Then the title would be London. After then name would be test. Okay, fine. So now check it. Now here is London. You can see the data related to London are showing. We have 4 data based on London. You can see this is London, this is London, this is London, and this is London. So now all the jobs are showing here, and when you click London, then London related job are showing here. So what actually doing here? You can see a single line, just make a differences. This time we will use this, and our main functionality is here. We are filtering our job based on our main functions, so that's why this is the grow. Okay, so if it's work, then you can just use it many time. So let me format it, shift alt F. So now it's formatted, and we'll just copy it for multiple time. So then the second one would be Seattle. Let me copy it again and capitalize it. So let's check. This is Seattle. Okay, Seattle related jobs are here. Then the third one is based on Madrid. Let me copy it, paste it here, make it capitalized. So look how easy it is to design these sections. So it's Madrid. We have no data, but as we have no data, it's showing nothing, but we will fix it when there is no data. You can see it's showing no data, no jobs. Okay, we will just make it a little bit later. So next, let me copy it again, then we'll define it Boston. Copy it, paste it here. That would be B capitalized. Okay, so this location base thing is working. So let's refresh it again and check if it's working. By default, all data is showing. If you hit London, then London related data is showing. If you click Seattle, then Seattle related data is showing. Then if you click Madrid, nothing shown. Then if you hit Boston, then you can see there are 2 data. Okay, so we can see our function is working. So next what we'll do, actually we can try to show like this way. When data is not showing or your server is not working, then you can just show that some text. Okay, so if you want to check, so let me just close this. Yeah, it's our server. So if you just stop it and refresh your website, then it says when the facing is not available, when data is not facing, backend data is not providing data, then you can see this way a loading is showing here. So but here this okay. So for this we'll just make it run again, npm start. It's our backend. Okay, so let me minimize it, and then if you refresh again, look, sorry, these websites, look, it's loading. And so let me check it if it's working. Our database is not still ready yet. Maybe we have to wait a minute, but okay, we don't need to wait. Okay, now database is ready, and if you refresh, then our data is showing. When you hit Madrid, then no data. Okay, so for this, actually what you can do, you can just go back to the home page, then can do two things. Firstly, we can set up paginations and loading effects. So that's why at the top we can define some use states. The first one is for loading effect. So const that would be is loading, then set. Let me copy this, paste it here, make it capitalized. Then here we'll use a state, make it true. Okay. Then for pagination, we'll actually define const current page, then here is set current page, then it would be use state and the value would be by default 1. Okay, so we want to show 6 items per page, so that's why items per page would be 6. Okay, if you do this, so how the loading will work? Actually, when we just use effect, we can set a loading, so that would be set loading, then it would be true. Then when you get the data, then we'll define set loading, it would be false. Okay, so this is one way to handle this. Okay, at this point here we will have data on this job, so that's why we'll check something here. So what we will do here, we actually check if is loading, then we'll show something. Otherwise, inside here, let me just do it right now. Here inside this, we'll actually use a p tag, and we will define loading dot. Okay, then here we will define the jobs actually. So you can just copy it from here and then paste it there. Okay, so how it will work? So by default when loading, so it's look, here's the effect, it's loading very fast, so that's why you can see the loading is there. Look at here, it's very, the loading is working, but we want to show zero data or something, so this way actually for this, here at this point we'll just use another thing. We can just check result dot length is greater than 0, then we can do something. We can just render job, but when it's the result is less than 0, we can show two things. First one is h3. Here we can use result dot length. So this is our results. You can see this is results dot length, and here we can just type jobs, then we can show another p tag and no data found. Okay, check now right now. So if you refresh, then you can see loading. When you click, all the data is showing. When you just click here, and then if you hit here, zero data is showing. If you click, then it's working. So now why it's not showing this way? When you click, then it will says two job available. So for this actually here we can just do a thing. Maybe this option is not working, so that's why. Okay, let me define a class name here. So class name, that would be font medium. Then let me refresh. Data is loading. Okay, what we can do, we can actually just write this class name here. Let me define a class name, that would be text lj, then font bold, then it would be mp2. Okay, so when you click merge it, then no data, and okay, so we can just copy this actually, and now you can just open job.jsx and here results, can edit it a little bit. We can just make a empty field here, and then let me just define a div, then we'll define h3. Let me format it. This is results dot then. After then we'll just define a section, then we'll pass these props. Here we can add some class name, that's would be cart container. Cart container, is there any css? Container. Okay, so maybe let me check, sure, let me sure this if this class is available, and control c cart. Okay, maybe it's not needed, so chapter 6 we don't need this. So let's check. By default one data is showing, then four data is showing. You can see full data. If you hit, then 12 data is showing. Then if you hit, two data is showing, no data is showing. Two data, all data. Okay, so this is working. Now the paginations, we have already written some code for these paginations. So let me close this input field. So also just JSON data here. Look, we have already written these two thing for these paginations. So look here, the paginations here at the top, refresh it. Here we have data, and here we have options, previous options and next options. If you click here, then next page will have one data, and if you hit, then this is previous page. So this is our paginations actually. So for this, what we can do, we actually do write some code. So let me define something after this ratio button. So this is our ratio, or you can also define after this button based filtering. So from here, let me add a comment. The first one is calculate the indexed range. Okay, here we'll define a const, so it will be a function, so that's why calculate page range actually. So sorry for this mistyping. An arrow sign, and it would be functions. Firstly, we will define first index. So const is start index. That would be our current page. So what is the current page? So here you can see this is the current page. You can copy it and use it here. Then it will be -1. Actually, you can just add. Then we will just multiple it by using these items per page. So copy it and paste it here. Then this is the start index. After then we'll have an end index. So index, that would be start index plus items per page. Items per page. Okay. So finally we'll return, what we will return? We will return a objects here, that would be a start index comma end index. So there, that's it. Then so this is a calculate page functions, how many pages will be, so that will define the page number actually. So you can see the first page, second page, so that will calculate this page range. Okay, after then we'll define a function for the next page, function for the next page. When you click, what will happen? So that's why const next page equal, it will be an arrow functions, and here we'll check if, and if we find current page, so that's why current page, and here we'll check if math, use math and then seal, that means sealing, so it's a method. Then we will actually filter our items. Here you can see this is filter items, pass it here, and then just try to check the length. We'll want to check the length, so it's not curly braces, and here we'll just use a divide, and here we'll pass items per page. So if this, we will just define curly braces, and we'll try to set current page, that would be current page plus 1. Okay, so next function for the previous page. Okay, so look what is the previous page. Here you can see the previous buttons, and if you hit, then the page 2 will open and then back to the first page. So that's it. So what we will do, we will define const prev page, then it will obviously an arrow functions. Then what we will do, we will actually check if current page, sorry, it's not current page, is greater than 1, then we will just define set current page, that would be current page minus 1. Okay, then this is done. Now the next one is, we'll actually go to our main block, main functions actually. So go inside this block, and then after these if statements, so this is if statement, and make sure you written code up of this free term. So that's why here actually what we will define, we'll define comments here, slice the data based on current base. Okay, so here we'll define const. As you can see, we pass two things, we just return true indexing, so that's why we will just copy it from here. Then here we'll just destructure it and define our calculate page function, calculate page range functions. So just call it here. That means we are destructuring these two things from these functions. Then we'll just filter our data. So that's why filter jobs, then equal, that would be again filtered jobs, then it would be slice. So what is slice method? So let me check it again. Slice in JavaScript. So you can see this is the slice. Let me copy it and use it here. That way you can see is slice options will have two things. So that will be there. So what we will pass will is pass this start index and this int index. Okay. So that's it. We have almost done, and now we have to use. So how to use? Here after this curly braces we can just define pagination here. Okay, then you can just check if result dot length is greater than 0, then we will show something. Otherwise we'll have empty. So inside this we'll actually write our components for the pagination. So let me write it. Firstly take a new div. So inside this div let me add class name, that would be flex justify center, margin top will be 4 and space x will be 8. So inside this div what we will take a button. So this will be previous button, then we will copy it button, that would be next. Okay, so inside this previous and next we will take a span tag. So here we'll just define page and then we'll check current page. So that would be current page, then it will be off, then we will check math dot seal, then inside this we'll check filtered items dot length slash items per page. Okay, now let's check it. Here we have 6 data and here we have page 1 and page 2, 1 of 2. Then if you click nothing happens because we haven't add any class any functionality here. So actually on the previous page we will just add one click and that would be previous page, and on the next we'll add class name, that would, sorry, it's not class name, it's one click and that would be next. So now click, if you hit, then this is page out of 2, so this is the second page. So let's make sure, let me refresh it. If you hit London, then we have 4 data and on the next page we have no data. So let me make sure it's disabled when a condition is applied. So that's why disabled, and then we'll just use curly braces and we will define if current page equal math dot seal, then filtered items dot length by items per page. Okay, so let me refresh it. Where is the error? Maybe this is the error. Okay, now we can see. Let me refresh it. If you hit London, then you cannot select it. So you must have to select this one. You cannot select it. Okay, so now the first page now. So let me, if we have two data only here, you can see, click here, we have only four data, so you cannot hit next. And if you have full data, then you can able to hit. So why next is not working? So is there I made any mistake? Okay, here we actually define it's for the items purpose. Okay, now it's working. We made a mistake, so that's why it's not working. Now it's working. We can actually add some class name here. Class name would be on hover, it would be underline. Okay, so look, when you hover, then you will just get underline. So you can select this time. Then here we can just add also disable. So when it will be disabled, it will be disabled when current page equal 1. Then we have to add this class name also. Okay, so on this span we can add class name that would be mx true. Okay, fine. So let me format it, Control Shift F. So format it. Okay, fine. Now look, our pagination is done. You can see this is our pagination. Now the page one, if you hit page true. So let me refresh it again. Let's check London. We have 4 data, and if you click, there is on the second page there is no data. And again hit wall, check Boston. We have no data on Boston. On Madrid, no data. Refresh it. On Boston, we have 2 data. No data. Seattle have 2 data. 2 data. 4 data. Okay, so next look, we have other options. We have salary page. So next we can design this salary page actually. Okay, it's on the sidebar, so that's why. Let me close components, and here this is sidebar. Let me click here, then add a folder that would be salary.jsx rafce. And okay, let me rfce react functional component And here on this sidebar, actually, we'll have to use, we have to import salary. Okay, let me close it. Here what we'll pass, we will pass these profs, and then we'll just also pass handle click. For handle click, look, so let me just pass it, then let me define. Look, here is two options. Here the monthly filtering, yearly filtering, and here is the pricing options. So that's why we are passing for this first one. We will pass button. So that would be from link clicks, handle clicks, and then here this is input field, and that would be these functions. So we will pass two functions inside this salary. Okay, so go back to the here and we will destructure this two. So for this, so from the sidebar, let me copy this one, then comma, then this one. Okay, so inside this return statement, we can actually define as4, then it would be salary, then define class name, text lg, font medium, then mb2. Okay, fine. Then we actually define a div. So inside this div we need to have buttons. So for these buttons we'll create a new component. So let's create a new component. Also it will be inside these components, that would be a button component. So that's a button.csx, button.csx, rafce. So let me export it, export default. Okay, here's so let's me just rafce. Okay, again it will receive some props, that would be one click handler, click handler, then it will receive value, it will receive title. Then instead of div we'll use button. So here we'll pass the title. So this will be, let me define the correct name, so title, and inside this we'll actually define one click, that would be handle, one click handler, then we'll define a value, then that would be value type, and after then we'll define class name. Here we will use curly braces, and here actually we don't need to define curly braces. Okay, but for now it's simple. Let me add px for py1, then it would be border, then text would be base, hover would be busy blue, then hover would be text white. Okay, now it's done. We have to import it inside this. So that's why let me import it on this salary page, salary.csx. We'll define button component. Let me close this on, And here we'll pass one click handler equal this handle click. Then we'll pass value equal, the first one would be empty value, so all the data will shown there. Then title would be, sorry, title would be hourly. Okay, so let's check. Let me refresh it. Here we have salary and this is hourly. When you click, it's nothing happened because all the jobs by default are hourly. And then let me copy it, and for here everything is okay. We will define value monthly. You can just make sure the text is correct from this job session. So this is yearly. We can close it, and the title would be monthly. Then let me copy it again, that would be yearly. Okay, let me just make sure the text is the same. The value will be must be same, and that would be yearly. And so for this, let me the text, so this is monthly, so make sure the text is similar. Okay, then so here three buttons are there. If you hit monthly, then you can see all the two jobs are here. If you hit yearly, then we have actually maybe 8 jobs or 10 jobs, and 2 jobs is monthly. Hit monthly, 2 jobs. Okay, let's define another monthly job, so that it will be 3. So that's I copy it and then make these changes. So if you refresh and then hit monthly, then 3 jobs is right now. Okay, so that's why you can say these buttons are working. Next we have these salary buttons. So for these, actually on this salary page, after this div, okay, let me define a class here, that would be mb4. Okay, after this div we define another div, and we can actually copy our locations, so that would be the similar one. So that's why we can copy this. So let me just copy the first 2 field, then just let me use it, import it. Then its bulk stage of this is hard coded data. Let me define a value that would be 30, so it would be prices. And then inside this title we will actually try to check 3000. Okay, that means if the salary is less than 3000, then it will hit and we will pass it is true. Sorry, test true. So let's check. This is website, and okay, if any salary is under this range, 3000, that means under this level of 3k 30k, actually this will be render. Okay, hit here, look, this is 30k, so we're getting 1 jobs. So what was our functions? Look here. So let me close this data. Actually inside this selected, we define if max price is greater than or is less than or equal, sorry, is greater than or equal. So we have these conditions there, if equals or less than. So if the salary is less than 3000 or equal, then it will show. So here you can see we compare with max price, so that's why we will just count this second field. that would be 30K. So if we just write others for this, so let me just copy this input field, and the next one would be 50 and it will be 50K. Okay, okay, wait, let me copy it again, true for this. So the third one would be 80 and it would be 80, and then last one would be 100. So here we'll define hundreds. So if everything okay, now check. If you hit, then we have one data, that is the range. If you hit, then all the jobs less than 50,000, then it will shows it's 30, it's 50, it's 50, it's 50, it's 50, and then it's 50. So you can say that you cannot get any data greater than this value. All the value of data is less than 50,000. So if you hit, then you can see all are under the 80K. You can see this 80K. So here also there are some other data. Okay, so this way you can just make these salary sections. After then we have data posting, work experience, and type of employment. So we can do it easily. So for this, okay, let's back to the sidebar, and this is data posting. We will just create component. Inside this sidebar we'll name it job posting data.jsx arrayfc, sorry, ce, then import it on the sidebar. Let me close it. So it's not inside. Oh, okay, this is the sidebar. We'll just copy this one and then paste it here. Instead of location, it would be job posting date. Okay, so here let me open these job locations. So it will be similar like this one. So we can copy this div from here. That would be receive handle change, and instead of copy this div and paste it for it here now. So let me import this field. Okay, fine. Now instead of locations we can define date of posting. Okay, so here we need to do some changes. So for this we will actually get the date, so that's why now const now equals we want to get the new date. So that's why let me just define new date. It's a method, then we'll just call it. So if you want to just check it now, then you can just see it, refresh it, sorry, here actually, here, just inspect it and check your console, refresh it, then you can see this is the current date. Will filter based on previous last 24 hours, last 7 days, last month. So right now this is the current time. Can check this time, actually current time from this line. Okay, then we will, for getting the last previous 24 hours, we will define const and 20 24 hours ago. Then here we will define new date, and inside here we'll just check now and then minus, that would be, if 24 then 24, then we'll multiple it 60, this is hour, then this is minute, and then 1000, this is 1000. So this is millisecond, actually the 1000 is millisecond. So let me just console log this 20 years 20 hours ago. Okay, so refresh it, then you can see this is 7th November. Now you can, here you can see 8th November. So but you can getting the data of 8th November. So you can, if you just uh, console the now, so if you refresh, then you can see this is now and this is the previous 8th November 7th November. So by doing this, actually we're getting the last previous hour 24 hours data, and we need it for 7 days, and so it would be, let me edit this, 7 days ago, then the last one would be 30 days ago. Okay, so what will be changed? So it will be 7 days, so that's why we will just define 7 and multiple it. Okay, and for 30 days we will have 30 here and multiple it. Then you can check anything, let me comment out it, and then look here, if this JSON folder here we have a string value, so that's why we have to convert it to the string. So here is the posting date, so we will just convert date to string. Okay, fine. So we'll define const 7-hour date, and then we'll call it, what we'll just call this, then we will make sure to ISO string, then we'll just use this method dot, we'll slice it based 1 0 and 10. So let me just check it, so console log and then check it. Okay, so refresh it. Now let me comment out this one, we want to just get this the last one. Refresh it, now you can see this is the last 24 hours, so it's 7th November. We're getting data similar like these. Actually you can see year, month, date, and this is year, month, date. So the format is same. Okay, then it's easy, we have to convert for this other stuff. So let me copy it for 3 times, and instead of 7 days ago, let me 7 days ago date, and then 30 days ago date. Okay, so modify it instead of here, and then copy this and replace it here. Okay, so if you do this, what we will actually do, let me comment. And our first one is okay. We don't need to define any value. So here we'll actually define all time. After then, this is the input field, and here we'll just change the value. The value would be handle change. Sorry, this would be handle change, and value would be last 20 hours date. So copy it, and on the second field, actually, that would be last 20 hours date, and the title would be last 20 hours. We can just, then here we need to change this value. That would be last 7 days date, and title would be last 7 days. Then for this one, we will just pass 30. Then title would be last month. Okay, we not need this last one. Actually, we need 3 fields. So let me refresh it, close it. Then if you hit here, you can see nothing changes. So let me go back to home page, and here we haven't posting date. So for your understanding purpose, so let me just cut it or delete it. Then for, okay, let me show you if posting date is, so let me just reback it. What it use, we use this way. Okay, now cut it. So if posting date is greater than or, sorry, is greater than or equal selected, format it, and now, okay, by default 24 hours it's showing. If you hit, then we have no previous data. If you hit, then we have 3 data on the 7th day. We have 3 data on the, all the data is showing for the last month. So all data is showing. So how you can understand this is working. Okay, let's edit the JSON file. So let me edit the first one. Here instead of free, we will define age. So this is the results. Okay, refresh it, then hit here. You can see the first data from here. So this is the title, this is the company name. Just compare it. This is the title, this is the company name, exactly the correct data. If you hit here, you can see the data is showing based on date. So that's, see, but what it's working actually, as our browser supports date is styling. If you check, you can see, uh, if you just try to, it's string, but if you just try to compare, look, let me copy it. It's a string value, but you can compare it between two value. So if, look, it's okay, but if you just define the date 7th, then you can see this date is bigger and this is less. It's 7, it's 8. If you just try to check it on 3, then it's working. If you try to just define it 9, then it's false. So our browsers understands this format. Actually, it's a date format. So that's why it's not a string right now. It's on the browsers, it's date format. So that's why it's working properly. Okay, fine. Now home.jsx. Okay, let me just back it and okay, fine. You can just define select posting page here. Actually, we can just define selected. Okay, fine. Now what we'll do, let me close it, refresh it. So everything is working. Then the next one is it's working also. Next one is we have work experience sections. So it's similar like this. We will take a little time to do that. So for this actually what the next one is work experience. Let me create a component in the sidebar. So that's why work experience enc.jsx arrayfce. Then we'll just get handle change. Okay, we can just copy this location actually handle change. Let me close these on work experience and we'll pass it, and we'll copy this div also. We'll just paste it here. Just okay. Now on the sidebar here under this, actually copy it and then make sure it's work experience. Okay, fine. Now we did this. So it's work experience.jsx and it would be the first one is work experience enc. Okay, fine. So let's check. This is work experience and let me edit this. So by default the first one would be wall, then second one. For the second one we'll have work experience level is any experience. So click this and just edit this any experience. Then the last data is internship, copy it and work.jsx. The second one, this is the second one, and we'll just pass this value. Then we also have any experience work remotely. Okay, this data, and we'll pass it on the second field. And this two is not needed, so delete it. So let's check, refresh it, and now by default all data is showing. If you hit internship, then no data is showing. If you hit work remotely, it's not showing. So why it's not showing? Actually, let's check. We have data but it's not showing. Is there any error? So let me check. We can just define it work remotely, and that would be until change everything is okay. Why it's not working? Internship. Maybe check our home.jsx. Employment types to lowercase to lowercase. So maybe let me just delete this one. Actually, is it have problem. Okay, let me refresh. Internship, no data, no data. Okay, paste it here. So maybe we made any mistake there. So it's experience level actually. And is there experience level? Yeah, experience level, but experience level is not defined here, so that's why we didn't get it. Experience level, and we'll just copy this everything, paste it here and use or operator. Lowercase. Okay, refresh it. Now maybe this will work. Okay, now it's working. Now this is two data, one two data. Okay, and when you hit wall, then all data is showing. The next one is we'll have type of employments. That's why we will just define employment type. Here we create another hit sidebar, then type of employment, or you can just define employment type dot csx rafce. Then it would be just similar to the work experience. Copy this, then okay, you can just copy everything on this div, paste it from here, just import home.csx, and from the sidebar, let me close this. With the sidebar we have to import it, so copy it, then it would be employment type. Okay, fine. So let's check. So that would be similar. Let me edit based on this. Add text here, and we need modify here. So the first one would be full time. We can copy it from here. So this is full time. Close it. Here the first one would be full time. You can just a small letter it. Then second one would be temporary or something is there. Okay, this is temporary. You can just use a small letter, it's not mandatory, but you can do it. And the last one is part-time. Where is part-time? Okay, part-time. Okay, now refresh it, then by default all is showing. If you hit temporary, then all the data is showing temporary, part-time, and we need to define full-time. So where is on? You can just copy it, then paste it here. At the top we will define full-time. Isn't we defined it actually? Sorry, we didn't define it, so that's why. Just do it again. Full-time. We just edited that field. Full-time. Okay. Refresh it. Temporary, full-time. Okay, hit full-time. All data you can see. This is full-time. This is full-time. This is full-time. Hit part-time. This is part-time. This is part-time. Hit temporary. All the data is showing temporary. So you can just move it a little bit on a step up. Okay, so our left side is done. Now we have to design the right side. So Now for this right sections, here we have some simple designs here on this right sections. And if you close everything, so let me close everything. So this is router part, app part, and add the home.js. Let me close it so that it will be minimized. Okay. So here, look, we have main content, and inside this main content, we have left side, we have job cards, and we have right sections. For these right sections, we actually write a component that would be newsletter dot jsx rafce. Instead of write text here, import newsletter. Okay, now let's design this newsletter. You can see here this is newsletter text, and we can style this. So firstly, inside this div we'll take another div and we'll have a h3, and that would be email me for jobs. Okay, we'll define class name that would be text lg, then font bold, then margin bottom 2, and actually define flex item, flex at item center, then gap 2. Here we will just import an image from react icon front of some icon. So that's the import script here from then react icons slash fs6. So what we'll actually use here, so let me import an icon. The icon would be fa envelope open text. So open text, close it. Okay, so if you now check, then you can see email me and this text similar like this. Then we have to copy this text after them. After this h3, let me format it, Ctrl Shift F, then there would be p tag, paste it here, add class name that would be text primary, opacity 0.75, then text would be base, then margin bottom would be 4. Okay, so this is okay. Now we have input field and button. So for this, actually under this p, we'll just define another div, and then we'll define class name by default w full. Then we will have a space y to the 4. Okay, so inside here we actually take input, and that would be email type, and name would be email, button id would be email. Then here we'll define placeholder that would be name address mail.com. Then we have to add some class name, so that's a class name. The class name would be w full, it would be block, then py would be 2, padding to the left side would be 3, border, then focus outline none. Okay, so check it. Now this is the input field, and then we have to define a button. So after this, we can just take another input, that would be submit. Okay, let me define input type would be submit. Then we don't need to name it, we can just define a value. Value would be subscribe. Okay, we can copy all the classes from here. And instead of doing this, we need to define a background color, that would be busy blue, rounded SM, text white, cursor pointer. Then font would be semi bold. Okay, let's check it. Now this button is okay. Now this one is similar to this one instead of. So that's why we can copy this on and then paste it here. Instead of input field, let me delete. We don't. Oh, sorry, it's not that. So we actually copy the whole div. So this is the second part. Let me comment. Second part. We'll copy the whole div and after then we'll paste it here. So instead of envelope, we actually make sure it's if a rocket. If a rockets. So here the text would be get noticed faster. Then we don't need input field. Then we will actually define upload your resume. Okay, so this is okay. We need some space, so that's why we'll just add class name here. Then we'll define mtop 24. Okay, so our home page design is complete right now, and let's check how it's on small devices. It's completely outstanding. You can see our design is very clean and very special. You can use nav items. Then you have filtering options, everything. You can go to the next page. We have these sections. Next we'll design post a job page. So we will have to design this page